Hey guys, gonna be doing some short and sweet videos, some very noob friendly videos, and some kind of tip, trick, and how-to guides. I was going through a lot of my old videos. A lot of times people are always asking questions, and I'm like, I have a video about this, I have a video about this. Getting a lot of people saying the obvious same things. My video is way too long, can't find it, where is this, where is that? So I'm just going to condense a few of them. I think I'm going to put like 7 or 8 videos up, and we're going to try to keep them between 10 to 12 minutes each. So I'm going to get right into it. First thing we're going to talk about is Lord Masteries. So these are going to be basically the first thing you're going to be looking at to kind of maximize the power of your hero in the game. First thing that you need to know is you can purchase them with crystals. You can only get 50 of each, and battle masteries are better than support masteries by a long shot. You will not be able to stay competitive without battle masteries because every other player is going to have them maxed. So if you have the Kuz gift, you should be doing that, like saving up and buying the battle masteries. They start at 50 and they get up to 90 crystals, something that you can get at least once a day with Kuz gift, as there's 40 crystals you get from daily quests, and there's 50 that you get from the Kuz gift for a total of 90. So at the very least, you can get 1 per day. Alright, that being said, let's talk about some of the masteries. So first, there's your hero skills. Hellfire and Grace, I'm just going to skip through this a little bit quick. They're the only 2 you should really be working on. Grace basically is immortality for PvE maps and dimensional breakthrough. Hellfire is for all kinds of crazy abuse. Heal and high morale are not terrible skills. It's just you're gonna find that healing yourself is not as good as being invincible for 2 turns. And I say invincible, it's a bit of a stretch, but the way that people are building their heroes nowadays, it's generally invincibility. Grace is extremely powerful. Then we have these 3 masteries in the next line down. These are the 3 best masteries in the game in order from right to left. HP is the best, defense is extremely strong, and attack is, for every hero, is awesome. It just is what it is. For stats, for competitive play in PvP, these are going to be your go-to masteries. You definitely need them, as well as the crit rate. There is a co-op mastery, but it's really not that useful. These damage specializations right now are better than the attack percent by about 6%, but it only works for the individual hero, so most people do opt for the attack percent instead of the damage percent. It also reflects in the character's stats, while damage is an invisible stat that is unknown. Undisplayed. It's not displayed. It is easy to calculate. But as for how to build these, you can just copy my build right here. It's pretty good in order. This one, this one, this one, this one, and then this one. Even though this one's better, you're not going to need it quite right away, and this is going to help you more in PvE at the lower stages, because defense isn't that huge of an issue in the beginning of the game. And the crit rate over the co-op. The co-op is really only good for PvE. It has 0 benefit in PvP, seeing as how co-op is nerfed to the ground in PvP. However, some people may argue differently. I find co-op attacks are basically about as good as blowing on your opponent in PvP, whereas 450 crit rate, just so you know, this is benefited by potentials gained from equipment, which we'll be talking about in another video. The HP gain from this HP also combines with another potential for accessories that most of you are going to be aware of, called the attack by HP percent potential. This increases your HP by 15%, and then the attack by HP is calculated after this is gained. So this does also give you attack and HP, so it's a very strong offensive and defensive mastery to have. The defense from this this mastery is added as a flat amount. So if you have 55.5%, then after you master this skill, you will have 60% defense, because it doesn't scale down like flat defense does over time for the percentage modifier. It is a guaranteed amount. The increased attack is just an attack modifier, so just like you would have plus percent attack on a weapon, this is 9%. And it works the same way, and it combines with all the other ones. It is not added on afterwards or anything like that, it's all the same. Alright, that's basically all I have to say about the battle masteries. They're pretty straightforward. You want to have everything here. You want to have a sweet body, a sword, and a shield. That's always a winning combination. And Hellfire and Grace. Crit rate is better than comradeship. It also benefits by potentials. This also benefits by separate potentials that work from its modification. And these are better than attack for the type that they go for, assuming that this gets over 9. And that's about it. As you can see, I've got 15 points in the attack, so I can take out the 15 points from the attack and make 1, 8, and 7, which would be slightly less. If I did, I could have maybe 1 at 15%, or I could have 1 at 15%, so it would be better than the 9%, so my total damage would be a little bit higher, but it's generally not worth it. It's probably something more for when you're 150 or whatever level this game actually even goes up to. Alright, so let's talk about the support masteries. These are just kind of things that are very semi-useful. Easier to enhance your equipment. Now this enhancement by 9% is not 9% success. It's 9% more of the current enhancement success rate. So if there's a 5 out of 100 chance, this makes it a 9 out of 100 chance. Slightly more, but I'm not getting into decimals here. It's just too early in the week for math. This increases the chance of getting good random options. Random options are the potentials that appear on your equipment. Now this is the same thing, the wording is a little bit tricky on this. I believe this is for heroes, which is why there is a picture of the hero, and this is for gear potentials. How valuable they are is definitely open for debate, but I just spend so much time modifying myself. I generally keep these on all the time, so I don't have to constantly reset. I also have the Lord experience because I just don't need any hero experience, and generally it's really easy for me to get gold at this stage in the game. The mastery effects is probably the worst support mastery in the game. Friendship points are just not that great. This gives you more energy. Sort of every 4 minutes you get 1 energy. Now with this skill you get 1 energy every 3 minutes and 30 seconds as a recharge rate if you're not capped out as I am over here. The Miser skill is the most amazing mastery of all time because it saves you so much gold. This says a few things here, but this just really needs to be updated. The potential modification by 9%. Price, there is no price for potential modification. Unless it was referring to these blue crystals for hero modification, but it does not lower that amount at all. So don't expect to not be spending 80 crystals on that. What this is supposed to say is equipment modification. It lowers the price of your equipment, equipment enhancement. Your equipment enhancement by 9%, which is probably a hell of a lot better than Mana Stone, potential modification, and things like that, because there's going to be a lot of oops my hand achievements in your future if you're a newer player. The rebirth cost is pretty significant too. It gets up to like 70 or 80,000. Or is that right? It's over 500,000, so no, it'd be like 50-60,000. Still though, it's a lot of gold when you have 50 heroes to do it too. And that's just from 4 to 5 star. XP synthesis almost costs nothing nowadays, so that's redundant, but this is an extremely useful skill. Now we also have these expedition masteries. I really think this mastery is extremely useful. especially if you're farming ancient coin heroes, and you only have your expedition up to level 4 for the second slot. If you have it up to level 3, still good. Still good. It decreases time by up to 15%, which is pretty nice. This increases your chance of finding crystals. It's not a 90% chance at finding crystals. It's again 90% higher than what the original rate would have been to find crystals. I have not found a huge difference in crystals on either of my accounts with this mastery, so I just don't use it anymore. I used to reset whenever I wasn't doing anything with gear, and I would always switch back to this and then go back, but it's just a waste of time and gold, so I just generally keep this all the time now. Though this one right here, increase the amount of gold and hero XP received from the expedition, is fairly useful when a lot of players are kind of trapped, not knowing how to kind of get up to the next star, or they kind of hit a wall where there's just they're not strong enough to farm coup dungeons effectively, and expeditions become this huge amount of experience that you get all the time, especially if you're playing very frequently. Another thing that you can do with this is reset. It starts at a cost of 2,000 gold, and it goes to a maximum of 50,000 gold, but you can do it as much as you want. There is no limit to how often you can respec. It is a separate cost for support and battle mastery, though. When you reset, you do not get to reset both. You only reset one or the other. Alright, I believe that's it. Just make sure that you buy all your battle masteries and the amount of support masteries you feel you need to have at whatever stage you're at in the game. The next thing we're going to talk about are these skills: Hellfire, Heal, High Morale, Grace. Like I said, Hellfire, Grace, Hellfire, Grace, Hellfire, Grace. Stay away from Heal and High Morale when it comes to leveling up in your masteries. Not that they can't be useful, just generally Hellfire or Grace is going to be the answer for what you need at whichever point in the game you're going to be at. I guess the last thing I want to touch on here is Lord costumes. These are extremely bad value. Don't judge me for having them all. They cost a ton of crystals for what they give, but they add an absurd amount of battle power to your team. So if you just want a higher battle power number, then yeah, get all the costumes, save up for infinity time, 3 months, and buy them all with Ku's gift. Something like that. Alright, I'm going to end this video here, and when I get back we're going to talk about equipment potentials and modification.